We're really excited about this, getting the chance to catch up with a guy who's a 3-time champion.
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalist, has played over 900 games in the regular season, almost 75 in the playoffs. I mentioned Olympic gold medalist too. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Let's welcome in JaVale McGee. How you doing, JaVale?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
We are good. We appreciate you taking some time. You're doing a lot of cool stuff that we want to talk about. We're recording this on a Wednesday, and we just learned about the legendary Jerry West passing away. I know you had some crossover when he was with the Warriors, potentially. What do you think of when you think of Jerry West?
I mean, obviously, think of the face of the league, the emblem of the league, and one of the originators of the NBA and winning. His legacy stands. I mean, he might have one of the best legacies ever. He's literally the emblem of the NBA. So, I mean, it's just a sad day that he had to pass, and we just blessings out and condolences out to his family.
Yeah, man, just a legend. I was telling Morgan this morning what was really cool about him is like he seemed obsessed with basketball, even in his later years. I remember at Summer League last year, he's sitting in Vegas at the Thomas and Mack Center the entire day watching basketball. I'm like, this guy's obsessed.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Absolutely.
Well, you're doing a lot of cool things too. You've got this charity softball event coming up this weekend at Sutter Health Park. And reading up about the cause, I'm like, dude, I love this. And the story behind it's pretty cool. You started years ago posting about how much water you're drinking, and you did the hashtag Juglife. And then this turned into you raising awareness about why people should be drinking water, and then, hey, we need to get clean water to people, building wells and all this stuff. Why was this so important to you?
I mean, my foundation, Jug Life Water Foundation, like you said, I started it by just drinking water, and then things fell into place to where I had the opportunity to start a whole foundation and go to Uganda and build water wells. And after that experience, we decided that we should expand it a little bit more and go around the world, and especially the U.S., and educate kids about the importance of drinking water and living an healthy and active lifestyle. So being able to do that, it was definitely a blessing, and it just sparked some ideas to where we get to give back to the community. We also get to give water, which is a bare essential. We can't survive without it, and it's kind of humbling to be able to be in America and get water whenever we want. Go to the public water fountains in the park and just get it water out of a hose. It doesn't matter. You can get it anywhere out here. But where we go and build water wells, they have to travel 20, 30 miles by foot, carrying 20-gallon jugs of water, of contaminated water, back and forth to their village. So it's really disheartening.
Yeah, it's something people obviously don't think about every single day here. And, you know, I know for me, growing up, like I played sports, I played basketball. So like I remember just the importance of water, staying hydrated, all those things, right? But then Deuce didn't even mention this, but I know his lifestyle growing up was very different. His family didn't have a lot of money. They grew up on, but then they also weren't educated on the importance of water. So his mom would shove sugar and Kool-Aid together.
2 cups of sugar and Kool-Aid.
There we go.
A lot
Absolutely.
of that.
All of us had a little bit of water, a lot of bit of sugar, and some Kool-Aid.
And soda. So now, dude, I am obsessed. Dude, check out my jug right here. I carry this around all the time, and now I can't live without it. But like to your point, like we as Americans, like we just go get water whenever we want.
Take showers,
and so
drink it.
I think it's so cool that you really want to make an impact with that. That's big, especially using your platform in that way. So now you're doing the softball event at Sutter Health Park that's coming up this Saturday, 4 p.m. Tickets at juglifewater.com. And you've done this before, so what can people expect if they go out there and watch you guys out in the field? I
mean, they can expect a great time. A couple of my teammates supposed to come out. Some other of my celebrity friends are supposed to come out. We just got confirmation that Matt Barnes is the team captain of the other team.
Oh, Matt.
He's a Sacramento legend.
Yeah.
So it should be a great time. We usually have a home run derby, and then we have the game, and just a lot of family fun, you know. And it's Father's Day weekend, so you can bring your dad and just have a good time.
You say it's a good time, but you just said Matt is the coach or the leader of the other team.
Right.
We've worked with him on NBC Sports California. Very competitive. It's gonna be a competitive game, right?
Absolutely.
A lot of people know your story about your mom playing in the WNBA, and I'm curious how much she influenced your love for the game, and how did she influence your love for the game of basketball?
I mean, she introduced me to it. She showed me. I got a firsthand view of what it took, and I got it from a female perspective, which is even crazier. I didn't get it from a male perspective, where every man is playing basketball. Every woman it wasn't playing basketball at that time. So just being in the background and being on the sideline and being able to see this woman with the tenacity and how hard she worked every day to be great. Not knowing what the future could hold, because the WNBA wasn't around until '97, and she got drafted in that first inaugural season when she was 34. So
Wow.
she had been playing since college. You graduate college at 22. She had been playing that whole time. I don't know, what is that, 12 years
Yeah.
before the WNBA was even created. So I got to go overseas with her and different countries and see so much of the world with her as a professional basketball player.
When did you know that you were going to be in the league? Like, oh, I know that this is going to be my path.
The funny part is I didn't know until the year I was drafted, my sophomore year in college.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't have that McDonald's All American story, that number one player of the year, and all that. I didn't get any of that in high school. I was always tall. I was extremely skinny. I had a great work ethic, but I really didn't know the game like that. I didn't really study the game, so I really didn't get that exposure to exactly what the IQ of the game. That didn't come until I got in the league.
So you play in this league a long time, 16 seasons. Was this 16 for you?
Yeah,
Right. Oh, man, that's crazy. I
16.
mean,
Yeah.
that's a journey.
Huge accomplishment.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned playing in the league? Like what do you tell some of these young guys that you're around about your experience?
It's a business. It's a business. Over anything, the NBA is a business. And if you're not that star player who's averaging 30, you have to do other tangible things on the court to stay, let alone on the court, but in the league. And I think a lot of guys think they're better than they are, or they might be that good, but they might not have the opportunity yet. So it's a very humbling experience to last this long in the league. You haven't been, if you're this long in the league, you're either a perennial all-star and you've been averaging 20 the whole time, or you've had a lot of humbling moments where you could have ended it and you had to just humble yourself and make a decision like, okay, I'm gonna bite my lip on this one, because it's some things in the future that could go well for me if I just don't say anything in this situation. There's plenty of situations where you're putting in situations to where you feel like, okay, this ain't it. This is my team. I need to do this and do that. And then everybody upstairs is like, no, we're going with this young guy who's averaging 35 points. We're going to go with that guy instead of that. So it's definitely a business over anything. And I feel like as a young kid, I didn't realize that it was more emotional. But the more I got in the league, I realized, okay, they're running a business just the same way as Coca-Cola's running a business, the same way as all these other companies are running their business. And I'm an employee, and I need to do things the right way for the company and grow the league and help grow the league and the company. So when I figured that out, it was a breeze for me.
Was there a moment specifically that it clicked with you? You're like, I figured it out. Is there anything that you can point to?
I just feel like I don't feel like there's a specific moment where it happened. I feel like when I went to the Warriors, though, it kind of opened my eyes to more things you can do in the league. I feel like before the Warriors, it was just play basketball, go home. And then when I got to the Warriors, I saw the way that they moved around. I saw the demeanor, the way they spoke to people, and the way they built relationships outside of basketball and inside of the organization. We talking to the GM. We we talking to the coaches, we taking the coach to dinner. It was more of a social thing than I expected when I first got in the league. I was more, I'm gonna come in, go to practice, say hi to the coaches, and go home. I don't need to hang out with people outside of that. But then when I got to the Warriors, I understood like it's a goal to every year. It's a new goal to win an NBA championship, and to do that, we all need to be on the same page. So when I got to the Warriors, it was more okay. We're having dinners on the road, and you can bring your family with you, and everybody's just in the same. I got Draymond over there with his cousin, and I'm here with my auntie, and you got Coach Steve Kerr over there with his son, and we all can just. He rented out the whole restaurant so we all can stay together even while we're on the road. It was just a different energy, and I tried to bring that to other teams that I go to and let them understand like it's a reason that the Warriors were winning. It wasn't that they had Steph, Clay, and Draymond. It wasn't just that. It was the fact that even off the court, they made it to where it was a family function, and we were all as one on the road and on the road. And at home.
That connection and that chemistry really is important. And I think there's some people out there who understand that haven't played. And then there's other people that just talk and they go, chemistry is just whatever. You got to have this player, this player, this player. But truly that connection, having vocal leaders out there and everything. And I remember last season, Mike Brown after a game, I think it was a game that you didn't even see a minute on the floor. And the first thing he came out and said was talking about the importance of you and you talking to the guys and being that vocal leader. And you talk about staying in the league and finding those niches and those doing those little things. Why has it been so important for you, especially in this last season with the Kings, to be that vocal leader?
It's very important just because, like I said, this is a business and all the team is trying to do is win. So if I was in a situation last year where I wasn't playing as much as I wanted to play, because coach felt like he wanted to go a different way. I took it personal, but I didn't let that personal feeling come out into the court because I know I'm a leader. I'm a veteran on this team, and what I bring to this team is tenfold what I can bring on the court. I bring leadership. I bring a vocal tenacity. I bring a demeanor in the locker room where it's no one can mess with us. And it's a lot of guys who go into the league and they can go and give you 20, but they don't have no heart. You get what I'm saying? If somebody push them out of bounds, they just let it happen. They don't say anything back to that person, and you can't survive with a lot of guys like that. So when I believe the game that coach was talking about was, I believe we played the Spurs, and we had won, but we barely beat them.
Yeah.
We barely beat the Spurs, and at the time the Spurs was the worst team in the league. And when we got in the locker room, I looked around and I just saw the guys were content with it. And it just rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't play a minute that game either, and I wasn't technically mad about that. I was more mad about the aspect of these guys were cool, and it was towards the end of the season we were trying to make that playoff push also. So I'm just like, y'all cool with this? Like this isn't winning basketball, because I've been on teams where if we play bad teams, the third and fourth string is about to play the whole fourth quarter because we got it done in those first three quarters. And being a vet I am, and seeing the team that we had, I believed, especially in the beginning of the season, that we had that type of team to where we're going to put teams away and we have the possibility to go late into the playoffs. So that was just my mindset the whole season. So when I saw that and we were happy about beating the Spurs by 3 or something and almost losing to them, it was a disheartening feeling. I had to say something in the locker room, and it got really quiet. I was going back and forth with a couple of the guys, and it was just an energy that I hated. I just didn't like that energy, and I was just trying to change that in the culture of the game. That was the only problem I really had.
Man, just reflecting on this last year, I looked at this team and I'm like, man, there were times you guys look like a better team than you were the year prior. And you thought like this team like had something that they make some noise, like you said. And it just seemed like the consistency, losing games. I mean, you talk about the win against the Spurs, you had to escape, but it was like the loss to the Pistons at home when they had like nobody and, had to battle Memphis a couple of times, a loss to Charlotte. I mean, I can go on and on with some of these tough ones.
Yeah.
Do you look at this as part of like the growing pains for this group, or is it something like deeper that like, hey, you have to do some
It's
soul searching?
it's it's definitely a growing pain, and this is a growing pain that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah,
You have a successful season prior the season before, and you go into that next season with the utmost confidence. Oh, the league can't mess with us. We had the best offense. We're doing it. We're doing it. Well, what some teams don't realize is they got a whole year of film on you now,
Yep.
and they know the way you play now. That year before, they didn't know you were going to come out that way and be as exciting as you were. So that next year is going to be harder. It's not going to be easier. It's going to actually be harder because now they're like, okay, they had the number one offense last year. We know how to stop that now. We've watched 82 games and some playoff games of what they do, and now we can actually prepare, have a whole year to prepare for it. So I just feel like this year's team wasn't prepared to be greater. They were
yeah,
prepared to be great, but they weren't prepared to be greater than they were the year before because they didn't realize that everybody in the league and also everybody in the league got better
they did.
also.
The West is
This
stacked.
year was, yeah, it was in the West was no joke. Don't forget that aspect. Just being like you didn't know who was coming out the West this year. So that's the crazy part about the West. We have so many good teams. So you can be great one year in the West, and then the next year you can literally not make the playoffs, and that's what happened to us this year.
Was there anything about Domas and De'Aaron when you came to this squad that surprised you about them that maybe that you just didn't realize before actually playing with them night in and night out?
I feel like with Foxy's defense was a lot better than I had visualized before. I hadn't watched a lot of Sacramento games, but Foxy's defense is in person is pretty electric. Seeing the way he guards and then his pace the whole game is pretty impressive. He had some bumps and bruises during the season, and I think that slowed us down a little bit also. And then seeing the tenacity of Domas and the way he's going after boards and getting triple doubles damn near every game was really impressive. Also seeing that up close on the sideline, so that was pretty cool.
Malik Monk's value to the team. I was telling, we talked about him all year long, just kind of the vibes he brought, but also I just think his confidence just comes out there with some swagger. And obviously, he's got a big decision to make coming up in free agency. Take us inside. Like, what did he mean to this group?
I mean, I always say this when guys ask about the types of players you need on certain teams, and Malik is one of those types of players you need. He's one of those dogs, one
Yeah.
of those guys that come from nothing, and look at the next man ahead of him or then the next man behind him and stare him in the eyes and tell him you're not taking my spot. That's the type of guy Malik is, and a lot of teams, I feel like teams need two or three of those guys on every team. And Malik is one of those guys, and the dog mentality he came in every day and fought was necessary for this team.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I feel like that was one thing that was missing maybe from this group at times. Is just barking back a little bit. You know, there was a
Absolutely.
game early this in the season against Houston, and De'Aaron was out. It was early in the season, kind of some new group, new faces playing with each other. But I remember Dylan Brooks threw like Duarte to the ground,
Yeah.
and I'm on my couch. I'm jumping up like,
I'm gonna get him.
go shove Dylan Brooks. Like, I'm
Absolutely.
not saying swing or anything, but like
This is
that
this
can't
is
happen.
and this is what and I don't mean to switch subjects,
Yeah,
but this is the Caitlin Clark thing that's going on right now,
yeah,
where she's getting knocked out and blah blah. I'm not looking at the opposing teams as if they're doing something wrong. I'm looking at Caitlin Clark's teammates as in why are y'all letting them
yeah.
mess with the franchise? Like
Punk
the
your
things
ass.
that like this is the lady that literally got y'all private flights. Like she's growing the league. If I'm that person if I'm the 15th person on the bench, if if I'm the 15th person on the bench of Indiana and I see Caitlin Clark get knocked down, I'm running on the court and pushing the lady that just knocked her down. I'll get a tech. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I feel like teams need those type of people, and I don't think the WNBA understand. I don't think the WNBA players have those type of players yet, to where like the Charles Oakleys, the Udonis Haslams, the guys who you like. Okay, they might not go out there and give you 15 and 10. But if you come to that lane, people are gonna dribble out and be like, nah, because he gonna foul me too hard. I don't even want to do that. Or I'm not messing with him because this guy is about to come behind him and start some problems.
Do you think though, for like maybe for the women though, like because less money, shorter leash, that maybe there's like the fear that comes in, or like nah, screw the fair.
That's what I'm saying though. This is what I'm saying. If I'm Caitlin Clark's teammate, I'm going up to Caitlin like, anybody knock you out again, I just need you to pay my fine.
Yeah,
That's it.
got it. Yes,
She
yes.
she getting $30 million from off the court. What'd you call it? She can pay that. I don't know what the WNBA fines are, but what are they? $500, $1,000?
Yeah.
Caitlin, please play this fine for me, and I got your back in any situation.
No, it's true. I mean, you just can't let it happen.
Like, come on.
And even just you having that mentality, I feel like if I go down the roster of the Sacramento Kings, I just think of like Trey Lyles, Malik, you as like guys with that dog mentality that are like gonna have your teammates' backs. I mean, can someone though? Can you teach that into somebody? Can you teach that into players, like with the chemistry of a team? Like how else does that come along?
So it's only two options to teach. It's only three options to teach somebody that. The first option is you can't teach it. You just doesn't have it.
Sure.
The second option is you have it, and it's one of those guys that have it. And the third option is the guy who doesn't have it, but he's getting tired of getting beat up, and it's the end of his leash, and he's like, all right, well, now it's time. And you're like, why he just blow up like that? It was built up, and then from there on out, no one messed with that guy because he was sick of it. But you only have those three types of guys.
Yeah.
You have the guy that doesn't have it at all, the guy that does have it, and the guy that got it later. So, yeah.
We talk about the difference between good and great, and steps have to be taken. Whether or not you're back, what do you think is the next step for this Kings group?
I say this in every interview.
Yeah.
Just getting some of those guys. Getting some of those guys. We got shooters. We got guys like Keegan Murray who are pure scorers and shooters, but Keegan doesn't have that bark in him. I seen Keegan get 45 points and not say a word or a smile. I'm like, what? Like, bro, I'm more hyped for him than he was for himself. I'm like, you have 45 points. If you don't talk some shit, hold your hand up a little long, something, please. But yeah, we just got to get. I feel like they just got to get some of those guys, because the other tangible pieces. Come on, man. We got Domas, we got Foxy, we got Malik, we got a lot of guys that are putting up numbers, rebounds, blocks, and you put those together. You just need about three of those guys who will really go out there and three of those dogs that will really bark, like you said.
You know, I heard a story about Keegan. Like back in high school, he had like a short temper. Like he would get hot. And I'm like, I feel like that's in him somewhere.
Really?
He's one of those guys that maybe you can get it out. Am I crazy?
Come on, JaVale, get it out.
Keegan's from Iowa though, so it's just like I don't know, like who was the guy he was barking at in Iowa.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the most
I don't
innocent.
know where's Malik from? Malik's from Arkansas or Alabama. It's rough in Arkansas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a difference of who barked at who, but yeah.
I'm really high on Keegan going forward. I'm excited to see what he looks like too, because there's so much. I think there's always pressure on young guys, and he started his rookie year, had a really good rookie year. I thought his defense got way better. Offensively, he didn't shoot the ball consistently all the time, but he showed a little more. What do you see in his potential?
Comfortability. I just think he needs to be more comfortable in himself. I think he needs to. It's going to sound weird, but coming from a person who was in the locker room with him, I think he needs to up his off the court energy. I'm a guy who knows what guys are doing, and Keegan doesn't do anything. He goes to the gym and goes home and then goes back to the gym maybe 2 a days and like that, but he's very focused on basketball, and I just think he needs to socialize a little bit more just so he can and it'll show up on the court. And that's just my personal opinion of it, because he's so locked into basketball, like it doesn't make not going to no dinners, he's going back to the hotel ordering food. He's gonna watch film, and I'm just like, absolutely, you need to be locked in to that aspect, but you need to squeeze a little bit of fun in there also. Just
Yeah.
because you're in the NBA, you're making millions of dollars, and you need to. It's just a balance, and I'm
Yep.
not telling him to go out to the club or anything like
No.
that.
I can't even
But
picture that.
you know what I'm saying? I'm not
Yeah.
telling him any of that
Yeah.
energy, but I'm saying you're in New York for 4 days. You need to be going to dinner for 2 of those days and
Mhm.
enjoying some time with your friends. I'm
Yeah.
not telling you to drink or anything, but you need to be enjoying the city
Interesting.
and reaping the benefits of your spoil because you worked this hard to get here. Go to Times Square and be a tourist.
I love that perspective. I think I wouldn't have thought that would be something that he could actually work on, or any player for that matter. But you're so right. I think that goes to anyone in life too, about finding the balance, because
Absolutely.
it just makes you better at the thing
It,
that
ma-
you
Yeah.
love the
it
most.
makes you better at the things you love and you appreciate it more.
Yep.
Right now, I feel like being so locked in on basketball to where you don't do anything else, you tend to it gives you an anxious
That's
feeling
what I
of
say. You're putting
if
pressure on
I
yourself.
if I make a mistake, it's
Mm.
over for me. You turn into that person. Sometimes you need things to relax you and get your mind off of basketball, even if it's for one day
Yeah.
out of a week. You can go ahead six days straight, but one of those days you need to just take time to yourself and get out and experience new things.
I want to ask you about another young guy, and this is one I just love the story because we watched him a lot. His rookie year, he played in Stockton, Keon Ellis, and
Mhm.
just seeing his growth and just seeing him get this opportunity late in the year and make such a big impact. Like he
Absolutely.
really, I thought, shifted the team's defense in a major way with how he played. Did you see that in him early on? I know, so like Harrison Barnes talked about, I just knew he was going to be a good player. What kind of stood out to you about Keon?
The thing that stood out to me about Keon was definitely his work ethic. He was in there early every day, late every day, working on his shot, working on his handle, working on his communication, working on being a better teammate, working on his body treatment in the ice tub, sauna. He's making sure that he's doing all the right things, and seeing that from such a young guy who was technically a two-way
Yeah.
was pretty impressive.
Yeah, Mike Brown, there's something about him, the way he coaches, the way he connects. That, I mean, we just see from the outside that we appreciate and like. Seems
Right,
like a
right, right.
basketball mind and everything. What makes Mike Brown a special head coach?
I mean, besides the fact that he's been doing it for so long and
Yeah.
he's coached some of the greatest, it kind of I feel like that kind of sprinkles in to where he can be like, I have the resume. I've coached guys that are technically better than you, so if you can't listen to what I'm saying and what I've seen greater players do, so you could be at that level, then you're not along for the ride. And I believe guys when they look at Mike Brown, he gives them that belief and they lock in and follow his lead.
So how much do you have left in the tank? You've been doing this a long time. Do you envision still
Yeah.
playing?
Truthfully, I haven't envisioned me not playing.
Wow.
Oh.
I feel like I got a Tesla electric charger. Just charge me back up and I'm good. I don't. You saying left in the tank? I am not a gas car. I
Ooh,
am a
you're electric.
EV.
Plug him in and go.
That's right. I see. Yeah, I see the car you're driving around. Yeah, you just
You
plug
see what
in,
I'm
you're
saying?
good to
I
go.
am a Cybertruck. I am not a Ford F-150.
Man,
Different
let me ask
mentality.
you this. What keeps you going? Is it just the love for the game, being around? I mean, you've done it for a long
It's
time. You
it's
could give up now
it's
and be
beau-
fine.
it's first of all, it's a game.
Hmm.
Let me just put it in that aspect. It's a game, and I come from Vehicle City. If you don't know what Vehicle City is, it's Flint, Michigan. And the way Flint, Michigan worked was the Ford had all of their factories in Flint, and then they moved them to Detroit. And once they moved them to Detroit, everybody that was working in Flint went broke and went poor. They were paying high school graduates, or I mean not even high school graduates, people with no GEDs, $50 an hour, $45 an hour to work at the shops. So everybody was eating, everybody was winning, and then it was just taken away from them. at one moment, and to the point where they were called Vehicle City, and then they named Detroit Motor City because they took it all over there, and then it was a demise of Flint, Michigan, my city. So I've seen the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen the worst. I've seen something been taken away from somebody and then them going downhill from there. So the fact that I get to play, I'm from that city and I get to play a game and make millions of dollars to play a game, I can never take that for granted in my life. I like there's nothing I can ever take. Even if I don't care how hard it gets, I can't take that for granted. Oh, I'm tired today. Oh, but did you work a 12-hour shift or did you
Play a game.
like you're playing a game
Yeah.
for 2 hours and then you do treatment for 2 hours and you come back for another hour and get some shots up. That's 5 hours out of your 24-hour day. You have 19 hours to sleep and be with your family. So I don't look at this as a job at all. I look at this as a commitment that I'm committed to for life. My goal is to play for 20 years. Um, but so and I have what 4 more left. So my like you said, my tank isn't empty, and I just keep. I enjoy it, and also I enjoy it. I enjoy the game. Like I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy being around these guys and the brotherhood. I enjoy being coached. I enjoy trying to. It's the game is like a puzzle to me, and I enjoy all these people bringing their pieces and trying to complete this puzzle. It's fun. It's just fun. I can't. It's hard for me to explain. Like
No,
it's just yeah. When
I
I
hear
explain
it.
it, it's just bright. It's just a bright light. Like I love it. I love it.
No, that's passion. It's like what we do. I
That's
could never envision doing anything else, and I
Never.
feel they
right.
call that. I could do broadcasting. And I get it.
Until I'm dead.
Yeah,
Like I won't retire.
I'm born and raised
Right.
in Sacramento, and I'm involved with the team that I grew up rooting for. Like to me, it's a win. I want to do this forever.
Absolutely.
So, do you want to return to Sacramento, or are you kind of like, look? I mean, if I'm not playing, like I want to go somewhere where I have a chance to play. Have you thought about that?
I definitely want to go somewhere where I have a chance to play. But that doesn't mean if they want me to come back, that's not a option. I love it here in Sacramento. The fans are amazing. One thing that was different to me is having loyal fans to where they meet you on the road and
Hell
and
yeah.
and just be in the same hotel with you and everything. I'm just like, okay, you guys are obsessively passionate about this team. Like I've never seen anything like this. But it was all love though. It was just pure love from the fans. So and then the city is a great city to where it's not too much to do, but it's enough to do for you not to get in trouble. And not saying I was gonna get in trouble or anything, but it's a great balance of okay, just lock in on basketball and go have some good food every now and then, but just lock in on basketball.
Yeah.
And hence why I was surprised at our us not making the playoffs just because everybody was so locked in.
I know.
That was like and then I've been on teams where guys weren't locked in and we've made the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? Guys are out every night. And I'm just like, I don't know how you guys are doing this. You guys are out every night and still going out there and scoring 30. This team is the total opposite of guys that didn't go out at all and we're coming out focused and everyday treatment, lift after the game, treatment after the game, lift when we land in the city, practice up till 10 p.m. getting treatment. Like the dedication was at such a high level. I just didn't understand how it didn't reciprocate into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I hope for some of the players like you've won a championship, you know what it takes.
Yeah.
But like some of these other players haven't gone that far at all. I hope it leaves them hungry this offseason. Like, hey, yeah, we had the excitement of we made the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, got bounced by the Warriors, but man, we made something. It's like, no, this is how tough the West is.
Yeah.
We haven't arrived. We have to to be great, we got to elevate to a different level.
And I think when you talk about dedication, just like JaVale was saying, it's there when it comes to the physical sense. It's mentally where's that leap everyone can change
Yeah.
and shift. And, having people like you around that maybe allowed them to experience something else too. Hopefully that just grows on to them and allows them to even take another leap
Absolutely.
mentally. So
Hopefully, I sprinkled a little bit of winning knowledge on the guys, and I was an impactful vet when I was there for sure.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. We're super excited about your event. Encourage all the fans to go check out JaVale McGee's celebrity softball game. Juglife Foundation is his foundation. Get your tickets at juglifewater.com. It's coming up this Saturday, June 15th, 4 p.m., Sutter Health Park. JaVale McGee, does he have some pop in the bat? We'll find out. We'll find out. But it's also
there it is.
It's a great time to go see some celebs, hang out, have a good time at the ballpark, and raises money for an amazing cause. JaVale, you're the best, man. We appreciate you taking some time to chat with us.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Nice to see you guys.
That's the one and only JaVale McGee.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.